Good morning. Good to see you on this Tuesday. I hope you had a good long weekend with Memorial Day yesterday. Hope you're watching this on Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon. We're sticking with verbs here, guys, but something I'm going to add here is we're really dealing with helping verbs. Pages 114 and 115 are really going to help you out. If you think we're skipping a few pages, we are. Not that I think I know more than the English book, but I really think learning helping verbs first is going to really help us. And we are going to go back about 13, 14 pages to like page 101 soon, at the end of this week, in fact. But we actually got 3 days here on helping verbs. We're going to kind of give you all the helping verbs today, and then Wednesday and Thursday we're going to focus just on 2 helping verbs, and we're going to explain why later. But first, let's review a little bit of what we learned last week on verbs, right? There's a reason we went through 5 weeks of nouns, because yes, every sentence needs to have a subject and predicate, but we're going to focus on nouns and verbs, and that can really help you out with knowing the noun or knowing the subject with knowing the verbs. So an action verb describes what someone or something is doing. For instance, who or what did something? She. What did she do? Tasted. Tasted, right? That's the action verb. Going down to this sentence, the bus, that's a subject, that's a noun. What did the bus do? Arrive. That's a verb. We call it the action verb, but that's what it's doing. A lot of times they have the subject, which in this case is a noun, the monkey. In every picture you ask, what is the monkey doing? Well, the monkey sits, the monkey swims, the monkey paints, the monkey climbs, right? Subject and verb. That's what makes a sentence. Now sometimes when we have this, the verb can act by itself. What does the mother do? Carries. What does the train do? Chugged. What do I do? Believe. What is Julie doing? Remembered. Sometimes they need a little extra help. They need a little extra boost, and that's where these helping verbs come in. Now, I hope this is okay to see. You can see this here, but the main verb is always going to be in orange, and it's the same thing we've learned all last week. The main verb tells action. The helping verb in red tells more about the action. Now, I'll be honest, I wish I would have had a little bit different marker than orange and red. I should have picked 2 more contrasting, but for instance, let's just pretend you can take this helping verb out. So, I studying for my test. Now, that doesn't sound right. Something in your ear, something in your brain saying, that doesn't sound right. I studying for my test. That's where helping verbs come in. Sometimes you need this small helping verb, and here's a whole list of helping verbs. Sometimes you need that to kind of help the main verb along. So I am studying for my test. Boom. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And then am studying is something we call the verb phrase, but what we're focusing on today is knowing, well, what is the main verb, studying, and what's the helping verb, am, right? So am studying. What am I doing? I am studying. That's the whole verb phrase. Studying is the main verb. Am is the helping verb, which is definitely needed to help the main verb make sense, right? The turtles. What are the turtles doing? In this case, will crawl. Now I know last week I made it very clear. I want the one word. I want the one word verb. But with this, the helping verb, there can be 2. Will crawl. That's what the turtles will do. They will crawl. And if you notice right here, will is in this helping verbs list. What will the turtles do? They will crawl. Will simply helps crawl, right? Many people. What do many people do? They could visit. They could visit. 2 words here in this verb phrase. Visit is the main verb that shows action, and could is the helping verb that helps it out. Now, believe it or not, you can have up to 3 helping verbs. For instance, you could put many people should have been visiting the zoo. Look, here's should, here's have, and here's been. 3 helping verbs. Should have been visiting the zoo. 4 words in the whole verb phrase. Visiting is the main verb. Then you have 3 helping verbs. You can have up to 3 believe it or not. But we're just going to really focus on one helping verb to help the main verb today. If you see this in your paper packet, this is another chart, just so you don't have to keep looking back at this video and pausing this screen here. I have this for you. This is a nice handy dandy little chart that you can look up, and I would strongly suggest you have this right there when you do your assignment. I believe I have this chart here on every day for the next 3 days in your English packet. This is really going to help you find out what the helping verbs are, because sometimes that main verb does need this extra little helping verb to help it make sense. That's exactly why it's called a helping verb. It helps the main verb make sense. Here is some more examples of helping verbs in sentences. So just putting, again, if you take this helping verb out saying she leaving, something in our brain doesn't really make sense, okay? But if you add the is, again, if you take a look back at your chart, is right here, that's a helping verb. You can say she is leaving. That makes sense. See how this helping verb helps the main verb make sense, right? I finished my work. Well, that could make sense, but if you wanted the past tense, you'd have to do I have finished my work. Still makes perfect sense. It helps the main verb, which is exactly why it's called the helping verb. And again, if you're wondering, is have or is finished the helping verb? Which one's the helping verb? I know it's labeled here, but part of your assignment is to look in here. Do you see have on this list? Boom, there it is. And that is a helping verb. That's a helping verb. In this case, have is a helping verb, finished is the main verb. They work together there. This is your assignment. If you notice, you have one word underlined in each and every sentence. What your job is today is to label if that is a helping or a main verb. Label it, okay? Is it helping or is it the main verb? If you take a look at this chart and you have it right here with you while you're doing your assignment, that's going to really, really help you. Because if you don't find it on this chart, it's not a helping verb. Only the words in this chart are the helping verbs. So I strongly suggest you have that out. And if you take a look here at the example, my brother Pablo, what is he doing? He is taking. Well, is underlined. Is the helping verb or is the main verb? And as you can see, obviously they labeled it correctly. And is on the chart right here, which says ding, ding, ding. It's the helping verb. Now, take a look. I'm sorry to keep scrolling back and forth. We will see an old house, an old tree house. Whoever's doing something, what are they doing? Will see. Will is underlined. Is will on that helping verbs chart? And there we could have to say, yep, will is right there. Will should be labeled as a helping verb. And so you put helping here. You put helping. Pablo was telling me about yesterday. Or what did something? Pablo as the subject, what's he doing? Was telling. Telling is underlined. Let's go back here and see if telling is on the helping verbs chart. Do you see telling? I don't. So that would mean that telling in this case is the main verb. So you'd write main just like the directions tell you. Simply write main here to tell it's the main verb. That is your assignment today, guys. Just really focusing on, do you know if it's a main verb or a helping verb? Use that chart to help you. Lord's blessings today as you praise your Savior.